Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
The 1269 letter on the magnet by Petrus Peregrinus de Maricourt stands as a singular monument in the landscape of medieval science, an artifact of profound intellectual curiosity, penned amidst the clamour of the siege of Lucera. This epistolary treatise, addressed to a dear but unknown friend, Cyrus de Falcacourt, functions as a prolegomena to the entire field of experimental physics, articulating a methodology and a body of knowledge that would echo for centuries. Its immense value derives from its systematic fusion of artisanal craft, rigorous empirical observation, and scholastic philosophical inquiry. The following evaluation will proceed through the work's principal sections, undertaking a close and critical analysis of the specific claims, frameworks, and methodologies presented by Peregrinus. This inquiry will delve into the internal logic of the letter, assessing the coherence of its arguments and the ingenuity of its demonstrations, thereby illuminating the precise nature of its contribution to the scientific enterprise. Section 1. The foundational methodology and identification of poles. The letter commences with an immediate and powerful declaration of its guiding principle, the primacy of manual operation, or manus operatio. Peregrinus asserts that the investigator of the subject must possess both theoretical knowledge and practical skill, establishing a framework where theory is tested and refined through direct physical manipulation. His initial chapters are dedicated to the preparation of the primary instrument of inquiry, the lodestone itself. He provides instructions for selecting a suitable stone, one of a uniform bluish or iron-like colour, and then details a meticulous process for shaping it into a perfect sphere. This spherical magnet, a precursor to what William Gilbert would later term the terreur, or little earth, is a conceptual masterstroke. It physically models the celestial sphere, the dominant cosmological paradigm, allowing Peregrinus to map its properties in a way that resonates with the macrocosm. The evaluation of this initial claim reveals a sophisticated understanding of experimental modelling. The spherical form is chosen for its theoretical elegance and its ability to yield symmetrical and reproducible results. His method for locating the magnet's poles is a testament to this empirical rigour. He directs the experimenter to lay a short iron needle upon the spherical stone and observe the line it takes. A line is then inscribed upon the stone along the needle's axis. By repeating this process at various points on the stone's surface, a series of lines are drawn, which, like the meridians on a globe, are found to converge at two diametrically opposite points. Peregrinus identifies these convergence points as the poles of the magnet. The strength of this methodology lies in its systematic and visual nature. It requires no prior assumptions about the location of the poles and instead allows their position to emerge directly from the empirical data gathered. The procedure is both an act of discovery and an act of proof, demonstrating the existence and location of the poles through a clear, repeatable process. This section establishes the fundamental properties of the magnet upon which all subsequent arguments will be built, grounding the entire inquiry in a verifiable physical reality. Section 2. The laws of magnetic interaction. Having established the existence and location of the magnet's poles, Peregrinus proceeds to articulate the fundamental laws governing their interaction. He begins with a simple yet profound experiment to distinguish the North Pole from the South. The spherical lodestone is placed in a small wooden vessel and floated in a larger bowl of water, allowing it to rotate freely. Peregrinus reports that the stone will orient itself such that one of its poles points toward the North Celestial Pole and the other toward the South Celestial Pole. This observation provides an operational definition for the poles. The one aligning with the celestial north is the North Pole of the magnet, and its opposite is the South Pole. The critical evaluation here focuses on the clarity and utility of this definition. It links the property of the stone directly to a fixed external reference, the celestial sphere, a move that is both practical for navigation and deeply significant for his later cosmological arguments. Following this, he presents the primary law of magnetic interaction with elegant finality. He claims that if the north pole of one magnet is brought near the south pole of another, they will attract one another. Conversely, if the north pole of one magnet is brought near the north pole of another, the second magnet will be repelled. This formulation of attraction between unlike poles and repulsion between like poles is the first clear and comprehensive statement of this principle in the history of Western science. His evidentiary basis is direct observation, described with the confidence of someone who has performed the action repeatedly. He further explores the implications, detailing how a piece of iron touched by a lodestone acquires the same polar properties, becoming a magnet in its own right. His explanation for why the north pole of a stone attracts the south pole of another is rooted in a teleological desire for unity. He argues that the north of one seeks the south of the other to become one, a philosophical gloss on a physical phenomenon that reveals his scholastic intellectual heritage. The argument's strength is its empirical verifiability, while its conceptual framework hints at an Aristotelian search for cause and purpose within natural phenomena. This section successfully codifies the basic physics of magnetism into a set of axiomatic rules derived from carefully structured experiments. Section 3. The celestial source of magnetic virtue. This section of the letter represents Peregrinus' most ambitious theoretical leap. Moving from empirical description to cosmological explanation, he poses a central question: from whence does the magnet derive this remarkable directive property? Peregrinus systematically weighs two possibilities: that the magnet is directed by large deposits of magnetic ore in the earth, creating terrestrial magnetic poles, or that it is directed by the celestial poles themselves. He decisively concludes in favour of the celestial source. His argument against terrestrial poles is threefold. First, he reasons that since lodestones are found in many different regions of the world, if they were the source of the directive power, a magnet would point toward the nearest major deposit, which is demonstrably false as compasses generally point north. Second, he performs an experiment by breaking a lodestone into pieces, observing that each piece becomes a complete magnet with its own north and south poles. He argues from this that if a large terrestrial magnetic mounting were broken, its pieces would lose their power, an analogy intended to discredit the idea of a singular terrestrial source. Third, and most powerfully from his perspective, he argues from uniformity. All parts of the heavens move in concert, governed by the celestial poles, and it is more rational to assume that the magnet's uniform behaviour is caused by this grand, unified celestial influence than by scattered, contingent deposits within the earth. In evaluating this claim, one must appreciate its deep coherence with the prevailing Aristotelian and Ptolemaic cosmology. The heavens were considered a realm of perfection, order, and primary causation, attributing the magnet's virtue to the celestial poles' elevated magnetism from a curious terrestrial anomaly to a phenomenon integrated with the very structure.
We really appreciate you tuning into this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.